Hey, Tom here, Flip Anything USA. So look, today we're going to talk about the 3 biggest mistakes people make when buying an investment property. Number one, most common thing is people overpay. When I say overpay, even paying full market is paying too much. Can't make any money as an investor if you pay full price, because then you become a speculator, and then there's always a chance values are going to go down like they're doing right now. So number one, overpay. Don't overpay. That's a mistake. And really, that number one is the biggest, and that says it all for number one. Now, number two is going to be not investigating the property. You don't want to buy a property without really checking it out. And I'm talking about day and night and weekends. This could be different for a lot of different reasons, but you may have some real inconvenient neighbors and noises and distractions that you're not aware of unless you fully check it out. So I'm talking about go there in the morning, watch people get in and out, go to work, end of the day, come back at night, see if you don't have somebody, making some sort of disturbances. You just never know what you're going to have. I've seen, obviously, you've had the horror stories of kids playing drums or practicing drums next door. The guy that's got a band going on next door in his garage, and talk to the neighbors, you find out maybe he's been a nuisance for years and he doesn't back off. I'm just saying, these are things you want to consider, especially if it's going to be your own, where you plan on living and relaxing. The other things is, when I'm going to bring up some other things, walkability, the amenities nearby. One of the biggest features you can have for a property is walkability. Can you walk to a store? Can you walk to a bar? Can you walk to a restaurant? I've got properties where I can walk to a movie theater, have a couple drinks, walk back. That's a nice amenity. And when I rent those properties to my tenants, I'm sure I point it out to them. Also, I even got a lake nearby that most people don't even know it's there. They can walk to the lake as well. I want to put this down here is investigate, but I want to bring a little more emphasis to what that means. And that means night and day. Take a look at it night and day. Go there on the weekends as well. Check it out. Walk the neighborhood. Also check the crime. You can check anybody. There's good reports on crime and history in an area. You can find out very quickly if there's any kind of problems. If you got the Ring app or talk to somebody in the neighborhood, you'll find all sorts of stuff going on nearby or not, and that's what you want. So, and everybody's got a limit to how much of that stuff they can take. Some people it's going to be quite often, but they have their properties locked down, they expect it, they anticipate it, and they prepare for it. But every place is different. And the schools, that's the other thing, is schools. If schools are important, or they're going to be important to your tenants, check out your schools. Because the schools, if you're in a bad school district, listen, I can tell you right now, my kids going to school, I judge a school by the students, not necessarily the teachers. I go in, I take a look at the students. If the students look terrible, my kid ain't going to that school. That's just all there is to it. Talk to the people that have kids in that school district. Very important. They'll either recommend it or not. So schools, and let's see, what else can we do? Restrictions. Okay, this is all part of investigating, but kind of a whole different level. Restrictions. A lot of people move into a neighborhood and they go pull a big RV in their front yard, and then somebody comes over and kindly tells them, hey, you can't park your RV in the front. And they're like, the hell, I can't. And guess what? They're right. You're probably wrong, because in the CC&Rs, in the covenants and the restrictions, it may be in there. No RVs, okay? Then where you can't park your truck if you're a plumber. They don't want anything but home type vehicles, cars, the normal stuff that you'd have. They don't want to see any utility vehicles. It's a real thing. So always check out the restrictions. Okay. And now let's say you want to do an Airbnb. You need to look at your local restrictions, your local coordinating authorities. So local authority, I'm talking about your local city restrictions, because you may be in an area where Airbnbs were fine last year, and this year, guess what? They've outlawed them, basically. A lot of people that bought properties, and there's a beach community that I actually rented for many years when I go down there with my family. And one year they were cool, and guess what? The next year, they weren't so cool. And it devastated the people, because some people were making $30,000 a month on that Airbnb, and now they're back to $10,000 a month, because they have to rent it maybe 3 months at a time all year round, where if they're renting it by the week, make 3 times as much. Check your local restrictions if you're going to be doing an Airbnb. Very, very important. So that's it. Don't overpay. Investigate the property, the neighborhood thoroughly, day and night, weekends, restrictions. Check your local restrictions with your neighborhood association. If there is a neighborhood association, And then again, your local restrictions, the city authority, city ordinances. And then the other thing, I'll leave one more thing, taxes. A lot of people don't realize, especially if you're going from one state to another, you'll get sticker shock. And there's parts of Texas and New Jersey that are 3 times the rate of what they are in California. People go from California, think they're escaping high prices, and they come to one of these other states, and what they find out is that the taxes on their little place is like they're getting taxed on a mansion. They're 3 times higher in some states over and above California, and I'm sure there's other states that are as cheap as California. I don't know any off the top of my mind. Look at your tax rate, especially if you move from one state into another. It's very important. People get their first tax bill and they laugh and then they cry because they realize it's not a mistake, if that's what it is. All right, so listen, those are the 3 big things. Don't fall victim to those things like so many people do. You make a bad investment, you'd be tied up for a decade and won't be able to get out. That's the worst thing that can happen to anybody. I don't care if you're young or old. You make a bad investment, you're going to be doomed for a long time. So look, if you enjoyed what you just saw, get my book. You can get it on Audible, Kindle, and paperback on Amazon. If you enjoyed what you've seen here, you can get a lot more. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I'd appreciate it. It helps the channel. These things that I just showed you, don't take them lightly. They're of major importance to anybody, especially if you're a new buyer.